Right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome along to, well, I suppose you could say a bit of a sneaky peek today. So we've come for a look at Krone's latest trailer, which is this monster that you see behind us, which is known as the GX. So if we spin around, Craig, I mean, for a start off, just sort of tell us kind of where this sits in the Krone family, because you had the TX, did you?
Yeah, we still make the TX, which was primarily just a forage trailer, to be honest. Just done, silage, maize, transport.
Just a big trailer with a moving floor?
Pretty much, yeah. It was just a forage wagon without the pickup reel, basically. But the idea behind the GX is basically a complete multi-purpose trailer. It'll handle everything from rapeseed through all the forage crops, grains, and onto root crops as well, potatoes and sugar beet as well. So the idea is you've got one trailer that does absolutely everything you'd ever need a trailer to do.
That's it. And why did sort of like Krone, I don't know, I suppose, feel the need to come up with this trailer concept?
Probably just going online, you know, we do the lorry trailers as well, just trying to be an expert in transport technology for forage crops as well.
Yeah.
We make trailers, we do forage wagons, we do TXs, we might as well add another one. And the fact they can do root crops as well, it just ticks another box, gets another market for us, which we didn't have before.
That's it, and you've got, I mean, like you sort of alluded to there, you've got a lot of transport trailer experience to draw upon. I mean, you've got the forage wagons for a start, which we all know and love.
Yep.
You've already had that TX, which you've still got, and you've also got, I mean, the actual, you know, the sort of like haulage side of the Krone business with the, you know, the haulage trailers. Yeah,
the blue side, there's plenty of Krone Arctic trailers on the road, so we know what we're doing for shifting material.
That's it.
It's been a nice addition. I think we've got a lot of ideas of where it's going to get placed in the UK as well.
Yeah.
As you can see just now, the sides are folded down. You get hydraulic folding sides. Each side's independently controlled. So, designed, you know, if you come up behind the potato harvester or sugar beet harvester, you can lower the side down a bit to get the elevator in lower, so it's not dropping the crop from too high. Or even if you're running against a forage harvester, if your trailer driver's feeling generous, you can drop a side, make it slightly easier to load for a little while,
well, that's
then put it back up.
Keep all them forage drivers happy, whether they're lefty blowers or righty blowers.
Yeah, well, we'll not get into that.
But no, we're not starting that conversation today, but it will keep them all happy because you've got independent, is it independent control?
Yeah, it's independent either side, and if you can see the rear extension on the back door's bolted on, if you really need to lower the height of the machine, you can take that off, you know, if you're tipping grain in a low shed. Right. You can take that extension off, the front one folds down, and you've got quite a low trailer then. Yeah. You've got your standard grain chute on the back door there, so if you are shifting any sort of grain, you've got that built in for you.
That's it.
When we're at the back, we've got the smart bumper as well, so at the moment the bumper's folded up, so when you activate the unloading sequence, the bumper folds up out the way. Once you get back on the road, if you forget to put it down over 15k, it folds itself back down.
Right, and that just falls down horizontal?
Yeah, just slightly below horizontal, yeah.
So, and that's literally just to be a back bumper?
Yeah. And
in terms of models in the GX range, what have you got?
So we've got two. So this one's the entry-level model, which is the GX 440, which is 42 cubic metres.
This is the baby one, is it?
This is the little one,
You don't do things by halves, you lot, do you?
Well, you might as well get on, don't you? And the next one up, you get the 520, which is 52 cubic metres.
Right.
We brought this one in a tridem axle, which is an option. Tandem's usually standard. Yeah. But I thought I'd give the tridem a go. So it's a lifting and steering front axle as well.
Right.
This one's on mechanical force steering axles. On a tandem axle one, you get either floating steering, just like you get in the forage wagon, just a following axle, or you get the fixed mechanical.
So that's just
force steering. So this one, so you've got your 2K50 balls that go either side of your hitch. Basically, they just push hydraulics back and forward to do your steering.
That's it, and then they just move the front axle and back axle.
Front and back steer. And then the next upgrade up from that, which is quite popular in Germany, there's a electronic force steering option. Because in Germany they drive over a lot of clamps. If it's on electronic, you can get it to kind of crab steer. So if you're going over the clamp, it'll hold it in from the edge a little bit, or on steep land. So. Yeah.
So like if you're on a side slope in a field, you can sort of steer it uphill a bit.
Turn it up a little bit, yeah. On these, they're all standard with a hydraulic compensating axles, which I've seen on the forage wagons, which is your front to back. So if the front wheel goes up,
Yeah.
pushes the oil backwards. Again, it's ideal for driving over clamps. It's a simple system.
Yeah, and that's something you've had before, isn't it? You've had that on your forage wagons. And...
Yeah, it goes back a long way, to be honest. I remember, back well into the early kind of 2000s. And a nice feature, which we've won quite a few awards for this, was the Krone Exact unload. So basically you can tell it how long your clamp is, right, and that'll give you a target speed to drive at, and it unloads it perfectly along that speed. So you could start at the back of your clamp, start unloading, and hopefully by the time you get to the front, or just before the front, it'll be done. Yeah, and it'll be perfectly distributed all the way along. So, you know, if you're running a drying floor that's quite a length, you can tell it, and that'll tell you what speed to drive at. Yeah. As I say, in Germany, they drive over a lot of clamps. That's probably its main feature. That's it. So as well as keeping the forager drivers happy, you're keeping those angry butt rate drivers happy as well. Keep them happy, yeah. So you can just then get just a nice even layer and tickle it about, and it's perfect. Lots of rolling then, lots of consolidating. I suppose as well, I mean, it's quite apt that we've got a rake of big X's behind us. This will go beautifully with these. Yeah, it's fantastic, and you can tie it up, if you put weigh scales on it, you can tie it up with your forager to your auto calibrate. You can run it all that way, so the trailer and the forager talk in combination to keep the forager 100% calibrated at all times. So you could go and weigh off with this trailer, get an exact weight. And it tells the forager when it's next to it. Yeah. And then it just keeps everything in complete sync then. Right. There you go. So we'll dive into a bit more detail. We'll start at the front here. We've mentioned the drawbar and what you need there to make that happen. Yep. Talk us through some services and what you need there. So your on-load sensing really, an isobus, all air brakes is standard, and your load sensing hydraulics to work all the features. And you can see there's the acrylic glass front, that's 10 millimeters thick. So you can see what's going on in the trailer at all times from the cab. That's it. And that'll be fairly tough, that will it? Yeah, it's 10 millimeters thick, so it's that'll be like a sort of polycarbonate kind of thing, is it? Something like that. Acrylic-y stuff, yeah. What are these springs for, so the springs, you've got one either side, so basically how the GX works, so that the front wall is attached to the fabric rubber belt. So rather than pushing the crop to unload, the load's transported out, as you will. So you've got two gearboxes at the front that pull the chain. Right, so they're just under here somewhere. Yeah, I don't know how much of a view we'll get, but yeah, there's two gearboxes on either side. You might get up over the top. Right. The idea of the springs is, obviously, as your chain's coming up over the cog at the gearbox, to stop at the chain bunching up when it gets loose. Those tension springs just keep the chain tight. Right. As it's unloading and reversing back. So that's the main reason the GX can do root crops and any sort of crop, because it's not actually pushing it out. Yeah. So any force exerted on the crop when it's full, that doesn't change when it's emptying all the way out. Right. And it's all very clinical and clean. There's kind of fiberglass sides with a scissor door. There's rubber seals all the way around about. But yeah, the floor's rated to, that's 100-ton braking force on the rubber floor. And each chain that drives, it's 25 tons as well, so she's got a bit of force to put out. Right, so it can handle it then? It can, yeah. And then this little bit of mesh that we can just sort of seal up there, is that like a bit of an extension? Yeah, so that's your fold down extension. So if you fold the sides back up, that folds up again. That goes up as well? Yeah, so it's got mesh. I think you can get a perspex screen for the back of that as well if needs be anyway. And something like that, if you're opening up a maize field, you're following the forager, you can plop that forward and... Yeah, and you've got your hydraulic drawbar here, so you can drop the thing onto its nose at the front. Create quite a big target for the forager driver as well. Does this provide a bit of suspension as well? Yes, you've got suspension as well. You've got accumulators that give you a bit of drawbar suspension. And a new feature out this year, you've got your gauge on the front, but this year there's a new actual sensor, a level sensor. So when you can go out the field, you hit the button and the wagon goes back to run true. So right, so back to a road. Takes the guesswork out, I suppose. Especially when you're running, a tri-dim axle, you want all the axles doing. That's it, you want them all working. Job. Yeah. Well, what sort of weight is this? Like, even empty stud here, what sort of weight is that? I think that one there is about 11 tons. Yeah. I think it was we've not officially weighed that, but that was the weight that came off the boat, so how true that is. Right, and what sort of payload? You get on that one, is it 25 you get on that one? I think it's 32 you get on the 520 with triaxle on it, so there's a bit of weight behind you.
You're not kidding.
By and large, other than gravel and rock, it'll take pretty much anything. And there's pictures of it getting loaded with snow. It fits 2 Euro pallets side by side, fit on the belt.
Right, so you could load this with product, you might say, from the back.
Yeah.
And then move the belt and the headboard forward.
Yeah, because I think if I remember rightly, you can get, is it 18 120 by 70 square bales on it. They fit across the way, stacked up.
Right. Or ferret bags or anything like that. Yeah, so that comes with a remote control. So you know, even there's quite a few of our biogas customers fill a mouse. So the mouse driver could be having the remote control. So all the trailer driver needs to do is reverse back. He can control the speed for unloading to save the trailer driver having to guess. That's it.
Same with the grain door as well. If you're using that to fill up a conveyor, you know, you can just stand at the back of your remote control and it opens and closes the door, does your speed back and forward as well. So you've got plenty of options. And another feature which it's not on this wagon, on the continent they do a lot of discharge beaters, which we don't see a lot of in the UK.
Yeah.
But if you do have discharge beaters, obviously that would probably hinder a lot of other crops, but within 15 minutes you can change the beaters from being in the fixed position for unloading forage. You can attach them to the back door, so if you're unloading anything else, the beaters go out.
Or they go swing out with the door.
Yeah. To say it takes about 15 minutes to swap over, but we don't have it on this one. But
it's not something we really see in the UK, is it?
It's not really, no.
Beaters, but it's more for, like say, on the continent where they drive over the clamps and they want it spreading out nice and even.
But just to keep it as versatile as they can. And when we see inside, you know, the sides are very clean and clinical, you know, everything's smooth. Yeah. So if you are going from, you know, you could be shifting dung one day to grain the next, it wouldn't take a lot of washing out because everything's that smooth.
It's contained as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So from that side of things, you know, it's just trying to make it as easy and simple as possible. And
this style of trailer, this multi-purpose trailer, is it a big thing on, you know, in continental Europe?
Yeah, I mean, talking to our colleagues in Germany, you know, transport trailers, you know, the big giant silage trailers and stuff have always been popular in Germany. So it's just slotted right in, and it's, you know, there's a lot of root crops grown in Germany, so it ticks a lot of boxes over there, to be fair. But yeah, I don't see why not in the UK either.
That's it.
That was another reason, you know, they put the rubber floor in for the root crops as well. So if you are dropping them in, there's a little bit of spring on that.
Oh, you get a bit of cushioning.
You're not smashing the stuff off the floor either, which helps. And I've kind of kept, to try and keep the weight down, it's a one-piece chassis, same as what the wagons and the TXs were. So. Yeah.
I'm going to say, does chassis-wise, does it share anything with the wagons or the TX?
Not sure. Maybe the way it looks, I've never actually asked, but it does look quite like a TX chassis, to be fair. Yeah. It won't be, because they're similar sort of size machines as well.
Well, I say again, it makes sense to, you know, use what you've got. Yeah,
definitely, yeah.
Well, Craig, as ever, thank you very much for your time. Well, thanks for taking the time out and just
thanks for coming.
Giving us a quick, like I say, a bit of a sneak peek of this, well, first say, just monster of a trailer. Your baby trailer as well.
Baby trailer, yeah.
That's it, I can't wait to see a big one. And I can't wait actually to see this in the field, you know, once we, you know, weather comes good next year in 2023, get this out working, see what it's like, see what it does.
Yeah, it's going to, and to be fair, from our point, you know, it's a trailer that it can work through the winter as well. If somebody's got some stuff to move, it's not a seasonal trailer, which is the beauty of it, which is a bit strange for us. All our stuff's seasonal, but it's something that could be used all year round.
So hopefully we'll see this in the field next year alongside one of these beasts, no doubt, or even a combine, or a bloody Spud Arbor. It could be anything, couldn't it? There you go. So yeah, no, I look forward to that. Like I said, boys and girls, this is just a quick flavour of this new GX trailer from Krone. As we mentioned, it'd be good to see it out in the field. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Again, thank you to you, Craig.
Thank you, no problem.
And we'll catch you lot again next time.